there's a company that I found an opportunity to work for, and it was such an amazing, awesome brand that is very well established, especially in Kenya. And it was a great opportunity to advance, especially because it was a leadership role. I was, excited, of course, and it's an opportunity that I was headhunted for. I wasn't really seeking, but since someone suggested, I was like, oh, of course, why not? And I really liked the brand and the opportunity and the roles it was going to give me, especially the learning opportunities. So I managed to go through the interview process, which was quite intense, and I was onboarded into the organization. I was introduced to some of the people that I was going to work with, which was an amazing place to work. And there was a lot of young people, especially the Gen Z, which was very nice. And I was going to work with them. However, trying to dig in depth into this organization, I found out that actually there were people who are not from Kenya. So it means they spoke in different languages. And that means I had to find a way to communicate, especially my boss was not someone who came from Kenya, and he could not speak either English or Kiswahili. And probably it was upon me now to find a way of communicating or getting to go through someone, which we tried a lot. So it became so difficult that it was very hard to go to your boss to ask something. Rather, it was easier to go to this person who was, translating this thing to the boss, until it was all confused that I didn't know who was the boss anymore. Because now I had now to go through this person, and this person had to now give me tasks. And with the type of experience I had, I felt with the level of, so I found myself in a place where I'm relying on this translator, and it was so bad, honestly, because now for me to learn a new language, I'm not very good. I speak English, I speak Swahili and my mother tongue, and for me to learn a new sort of language would take some sort of time, especially at the level that I was in. So that became my first challenge, where now I have 3 months to prove that I can actually take this role or risk losing it. My boss we can no longer communicate anymore, because it's becoming very difficult to communicate with someone who cannot, we are both not speaking the same language. And I'm now reliant on someone who is supposed to translate what he's saying to me. Okay, and now in another scenario, this is an organization also that in terms of structure is not very well structured. So the organization, maybe I owed it to the organization now to kind of form a structure, but I cannot form this structure because people already feel like they are in a structure. So every day I have to find a way to fit into the structure which I believed wasn't there. So it's a whole issue of, number one, communication. Number two, there is no structure, so I'm developing issues with interpersonal, communication skills still. Number three, it's a whole new culture that I have to get used to. So I'm having an issue with, cultural, differences and so on. And I have 3 months to prove myself. And then again, to top it up, this is an organization that you kind of find your leadership, a way to develop leadership skills so that you find your space into that organization. There's no really written JD, or you want to kind of develop goals that you want to achieve at the end of the month. You just do what is on the table. So for someone who had already worked for very many years, it became kind of difficult, because for me, let's develop a structure first and then let's all work into one goal. But according to the rest of the organization, no, we have a target to meet. We have a product to launch next week. So we cannot develop. So it became it became a little difficult for me now to start to adapt, to find ways to communicate, to find ways to bring people together, especially because I was a team leader, and to find ways to just thrive in the roles that I didn't know of. And that brought in an adaptability issue. Honestly, I didn't last there for a very long time. It took me about 3 months to leave that role. And that was the best lesson I've learned on adaptability. And that's why I believe I am the best career coach to help you through adapting to such opportunities, especially when there are such big, good brands that can lead you into your next big role, especially a leadership role. Thanks for joining. This is Career Insights by Eunice, and we help you get into the top list of a headhunter. Good. So I want us, with that short, sad story that I've shared with you, honestly, my story doesn't end there. It ends into a thriving career coach who's happy to help you land your next opportunity and help you to be on the top list, upon number one on a headhunters list. So I want us to go into adaptability, especially when you work in a multinational organization like the ones I've worked with. Adaptability is very important in such a situation, because also it helps you thrive there. Number one, it helps you kind of belong. Number two, and number three, it will give you kind of a leeway so that we know that you can do it. Okay, I'll go back to this interview by Phil that I saw. He was interviewing the CEO of Safaricom. I'm just told to have some sort of enthusiasm when I'm talking, so I'll try. So what he was saying, which I loved very much, is that what has helped him position himself into a place whereby he's not the one proactively seeking, but he's being sought, is being able to adapt. And I was just looking at his CV and I was so shocked. He's worked for two organizations, and this one becomes the third one. And he was able to share that, honestly, why I am here, I am able to adapt and adapt quickly. Okay, so the more you're able to grow into that one organization, the more it's easy for me to track that you can actually adapt quickly. Okay, so if, like Eunice Victoria, you're in this new environment, there's no JD, and this brings a question: how do you even reach there? Your boss is not speaking the same language as you, so we have to depend on Google Maps, not Google Maps, Google Translate, and a translator to help you. And then you've never done this before, and no one is understanding this, and you're used to a systematic way of working, and it's not there. But you are still supposed to thrive there because you own it to this organization that gave you an opportunity. Just for me to take you on the side, Kwanzaa, sometimes when you go for an interview, remember, you're not coming to work for that person that is interviewing you. You owe it to the organization. So if you come to work for Career Insights by Eunice, you owe it to this organization, not to me. You know, me, I might be biased. I don't like how you talk. I don't like, but this organization expects you to achieve this key responsibilities that it has, trusted you with. So that's what I need you to understand. So I want us to go back to adaptability. For me to have adapted in that organization, one, I had to have proper interpersonal skills, such that from the word go, I can communicate with my boss, whether through sign language or through however I could do it. I needed to have created a good rapport with this person in a way that I can communicate with them. Because at the end of the day, if you are not able to communicate, the first person that, the mistake would have been to is me. I just came, other people were communicating with him. He had worked there for, some time. Yeah, so it was me. So you see, that closed the door, to thriving in that organization and creating an impact. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is communication is very, very important, especially when thriving in a role and adapting in that place in such a way that we'd like to have you work in a leadership role for a multinational organization. The second skill to be more adaptable at work is to become very resilient. You're likely to face a lot of challenges in a work setup. Okay, like the one that I've shared. And with all that challenges, you're supposed to thrive anyway, because as I said, you owe it to the organization to thrive there and to do whatever they've employed you to do. Okay, so because someone does not understand how to speak English, or someone doesn't know that you don't know how to speak that language, that should not be a reason why you're not thriving in a role. Okay, and also you need to find ways to create a system for yourself, especially for organizations that are just self-systemized. Adapt into it, create a system for yourself, or find ways of influencing a new system so that you're more adaptable into the organization. The third one is growth mindset. Okay, remember, if you work here, you come in as a communications manager, that's not it. It should be a foundation for you to try to find ways to adapt into other roles within the organization, especially leadership roles. So always find ways to grow, develop your growth mindset. There's an opportunity for everyone to grow, and everyone can learn any skills that they put their mindset into it. And finally, you need to collaborate. You cannot work by yourself. I cannot work by myself at Career Insights by Unit. It can be very difficult. I need one person for content creation to help me with CV writing. I need a person to help me, in the office and so on. You have to find ways of collaborating with the people that you work with. Okay? So remember also, it's not personal. Some of the mistakes I think I've made and I've seen my clients make is personalizing work, that it's work, it's mine. You cannot, such a way that you're so emotional about it and you're hurting people on your way, and everyone is just depressed when they hear your name. Find ways of being more collaborative. Listen to people. Just sit down and listen. Find a proper system that you can track. Okay, remember, it's not just about you shining within the organization, which we appreciate if you are a shiner. Yeah, but it's also about everybody shining together with you. Yeah, and if you thrive very well, we'll celebrate you. But should it come in a place whereby you're making the environment so toxic that all of us that are trying to adapt cannot even adapt because Victoria cannot collaborate? Okay, so that's a very important skill that you have to learn on your way to a leadership role. Okay, so there are other ways of being more adaptable, like forming good friends. Remember, not allies when you mnashikana to destroy someone. Just form great friends that you grow together. Look for training opportunities and train on some of those skills that you do not know. Look for ways to get feedback on how you're doing, just to be more adaptable in that organization for it to thrive. Remember, again, as I've said, the organization is not about you. It's about helping it to grow. We cannot have the Safaricoms with people who are not adaptable. That's why sometimes we do not last very long in an organization. But I want you to last in the organization that you are in, so that we help you find ways to even thrive higher. I love what the Bible is saying in Isaiah 60 verse 1. The Bible is saying that arise, wherever you are, arise and shine. Your time has come. And not shine that way, arise and adapt. Your time has come and the glory of the Lord will shine upon you. When we started this series, I said that we're doing a case study. On this case study, I developed a character who we have been working with all through. Yeah, it's just a character, and we have been trying to create all this, what we've been learning since day one, into a CV, such that when the recruiter finds this CV, they're able to call this person for an interview. Remember, this is just a character. We are likely to decline if we get an interview, and it's not someone real. Just for us for me to show you that whatever I'm saying, it's something very well researched. It's something I believe in, and it's something that I know that will bring you into the next level. Remember also that we offer job application services. We offer CV writing, LinkedIn revamp, and any career-related services, especially when you are in the communications field and you want to jump into the management skills. So remember, we offer career development services for people who want to jump into, leadership roles. And you can contact us on victoriaeunice36@gmail.com. You can also get us on LinkedIn, Eunice Victoria. You can also get us on all the other platforms. Remember also that you have to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that we know that you're supporting us, and invite people in the industry who you believe have the right to also thrive in their career, and also people who you think that maybe something could be stopping them from gaining these roles that we are talking about. I believe that everyone has influence, and I also believe that you have the chance to be handpicked. Okay, so this is Career Insights by Eunice, and we help you get into the top list of a headhunter. Thank you very, very much for watching. See you next week, and next week we'll learn about how to write a CV.